Welcome to another Zoom meeting. Everybody who's interested can join. You are welcome to join us every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Thailand time. So we'll go to the first participant, which is usually Felicia Chan. Felicia?
Good evening, Ajahn. I don't have question for today. Thank you very much. Sadhu, sadhu.
Next, Nanapat from Bangkok.
ค่ะนมัสการค่ะท่านอาจารย์ Today is my first day that I don't have to work after retirement ค่ะท่านอาจารย์
Okay. Welcome to the club, to the unemployment club.
ค่ะ I don't have any question right now ค่ะท่านอาจารย์
Okay. Charles Chung from Bangkok.
Oh, so early today. Sawadee Ajahn. I have a few questions. I prepared a few questions about Dana generosity. Yeah. The first question I want to ask is this tradition when we do Dana or donation, they call it Thambun. So my impression is that we do that exchange for Bun, have a strong emphasis of getting merit Bun, and have a high expectation of return of Bun. Maybe I missed something, Ajahn. What is the meaning of this tradition of Thambun, Ajahn?
Well, Dana or charity is really the practice of letting go of your dependent on money or anything that you rely on to make you happy. Because the Buddha said they are all dukkha, sooner or later. They can cause you dukkha if you rely on them as the source of happiness. Because they are not reliable, right? They are temporary. They can disappear anytime. So the goal is to lessen your be dependent on these things, physical or material things that you own. Just possess enough to provide for your body, and anything extra should be considered harmful to your mind rather than being useful. So that's why Dana comes about. Look at all the monks, people who became monks, they gave up all their possession, the material possession, because they are harmful to the mind. They are a hindrance, impediment to practice, to the development of the spiritual. So this is really the main goal of Dana, is to lessen your dependence on material things to keep you happy.
Yes, so I understand if we do the donation without expecting anything in return, so it helps us to reduce our craving or kind of greed or something like that.
Yes,
However,
it also set a boundary of your greed. You can only have so much, which is enough to provide your body for living. Anything more than that is too much.
Okay. But can I say that if a person make a donation, expect something in return, the result is in terms of karma, maybe a good karma, they do good, maybe return good, but in terms of practice, in terms of wisdom or liberation, it's not helpful. Can I understand that way?
Well, yeah. When you give, the purpose is, like I said, to let go of your attachment, your reliance on external things.
Mm-hmm.
But there are also what we call side products that you get from giving. It's a way of showing your metta, your loving kindness toward other people. And in so doing, you are creating a good feeling on people to to make them love you and want to protect you. So you usually will be protected by human and non-human, which are the spiritual beings also. And also, it also purify your mind to a higher level, lift it to a higher level.
Yeah.
Someone who gives, have less greed for money, have less selfishness, think less of oneself. So this has the effect on the mind being more lofty. People go to heaven because of dana, plus the keeping of the precept, the 5 precepts.
Yeah, precept. Yeah.
So you need both. But without precept, you might not be able to go to a higher level, even though you might have made a lot of charity.
Yeah.
But what you get is you might be born in a lower realm of existence, but on a more, what we call, more comfortable position. Let me give you an example. We have dogs, beautiful dogs, or beautiful fish that people like to buy and look after them, right? So this might happen if you don't keep the precept, but you do a lot of dana.
So like a dog in a temple, I think well, you are very lucky compared to a dog on the street. Like that.
Yeah, something like that. This is the result of your dana. What you give will assist you in terms of the living condition of your next birth.
But one question is, does it really contribute anything or any help in terms of on the path, like Sotapanna, Sotapan, and people doing that, it help or not?
Yes, it gives you more time to practice because you don't have to work too hard. You know, if you don't set a boundary of your income, your greed will keep multiplying. If you make 1 million, then you want to make 2 million, and so forth.
Okay, logical. Another question is, some people make a dana donation and they just forget it. Okay, I don't expect anything. I just do it and forget it. And there are some recommendation. Actually, I come to my personal experience as well. Some of them, monk or something, that you need to remember what you did good sometime, so you will feel happy. So it will force you to think about what the dana you did in the past, right? That do you think
not
logical?
Necessary? Not necessary.
Not make sense
because the act of giving already produce good feeling in your mind already.
No need to recall and use that experience to make us happy again.
No need at all.
Okay, I should not. I think that otherwise become attachment.
It increases your total good feeling in the mind already automatically. You're putting more good feeling in your mind, and you're getting rid more of the bad feeling at the same time.
Oh, another question about dana is that when somebody do a good dana, maybe a major one, and then not really share with the spiritual world, is it a
well, you have to see sharing of the dana, the merit that we make to the spiritual being is very minimal.
Oh, minimal?
Yeah, it's like water left on the glass when you pour the water out of the glass. You still have some drops of water left in the glass, and that's what you share with the spiritual beings.
Oh, okay. But actually, I have experienced 15 years ago. I'm not Buddhist. I stay a few days in a temple, and because I see the temple, have some requirement, I make a donation to rent away the place, something like that. And I'm not Buddhist at all. And one night, the ghost contact me, and it's very unusual experience. Right? So the next day, I talked to Long Po, saying that, the Mechi very unhappy that you do some good thing you don't share. So I don't know anything about Buddhism at that time. I just rushed back to the room. I said, everything I do, I share with you. That's my thing. Do I need to share anything? But I don't share when I do donation here, donation there, particularly not in a temple, right?
If you don't dedicate or share, the spiritual being cannot receive them. See?
Yeah. So sometimes I feel do we need? But anyway, when I go to meditation center, I must do that. At the end of the 7 day, 10 days, I usually just say, oh, whatever my mirror making in these 10 days, I share with you like that. So working quite well. Sometimes it remind me not to share.
Sharing a marriage is like giving the leftover food to stray dogs.
Oh, okay, it's not that serious, but okay. So if I forget, it doesn't matter that much, right? So it's
well,
not that serious.
It matters with the stray dogs.
Oh, okay. There are many, running grows everywhere, actually. Yeah. And then what else about this is Ajahn, thank you very much for clarify. This is very, very important. Particularly, I'm interested to this when I observe people doing donation. They expect something in return, like recognition, that's
defilement. That's defilement.
Yeah. So I'm thinking you may get a good karma, maybe get some return, but it doesn't help at all for our practice. Our practice is to more low attachment,
to renunciate.
Yeah. So
renunciate.
I think so.
Even recognition is something you want to renunciate also.
So for the petitioner, we should not expect anything. But for the normal people, maybe we understand that they may need some recognition, right?
Because they don't understand what the purpose of donations.
But they are Christian or some no religion, something like that. So we cannot really tell them.
No. Yeah. But it's normal for people to want recognition. When they donate, they want it to be announced or printed on the things that you donate. Like if you build a house, you want to put a little plaque on the house saying this house is built or donated by someone, so forth.
I also explained, I donate something, the temple put the name up there, my name very top, right? I said to remove it. They say, oh, this is the way. And there's people doing something, donate this thing, right? Their name is so big, right? And so this is a tradition, right? Sometimes, but for petitioners should not attach to those things, right? I think.
Well, for many people, they donate with the condition that their name must not be revealed.
Yes. I do that. The first time they don't reveal quite a big money, right? Anyway, of course they know because unofficial, the people gossiping, right? But no name tag, no announcement. But people know anyway. Yeah. Okay, Ajahn, thank you very much for explaining all the.
Okay, no problem. That's why we are here for, to clarify all the doubts.
I clear a little bit, okay. But I think the safe bet for petitioner, don't expect anything, just do it. That's the safe approach.
The goal of practitioner is to renunciate everything, not to rely on anything.
Okay.
Just to rely on itself, on himself or herself, on the practice of meditation.
Don't attach to anything.
That's where the best of the best happiness is found. From practice of meditation.
No attachment. Okay. I agree.
Okay.
Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you.
Next, Johanna from Indonesia.
Hello, Thana Ajahn. Right now, I don't have any question. I'm listening, Thana Ajahn.
Okay. Chong Lim. I'm sorry, Singapore.
Good evening, Ajahn. I'm from Erie, Pennsylvania.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay. It's good to see you. And I'm just listening in tonight, so no questions for me. Thank you.
Okay. Gavin from Vancouver, Washington.
Hello, John. I have no questions today. Thank you.
You've been absent for a few sessions.
Yeah, I had to return to work full-time and I've been a little busy with organizing.
And it's a bit early for you too, right? Now it's about what, 5 o'clock?
Yes, it's early.
Okay. All right. Anyway, good to see you. Your dad is still okay? He was bitten by a dog, so he had to go and
Oh.
take the shot.
Oh, for rabies.
Rabies. We have a lot of stray dogs in the temple. People just, when they don't want dogs, they just drop in the temples, and then they know that the temple has some food to feed them, but they're not, they're not trained or disciplined, so they can sometimes just bite at people because maybe they were afraid or something.
I see.
So we had lots of people being bitten by stray dogs in the temple, and they blame the temple for not looking after the dogs.
I didn't know that.
They don't blame the people who drop the dogs into the temple and put the burden on the temple of feeding them.
I was wondering where all the dogs came from, but
Yeah, when people sometimes they especially if they have a newborn dogs, baby puppies, they can drop the whole family together because they could not afford to feed them.
I see.
But anyway, this is just a side story.
Thank you for sharing.
Okay, next, Rebecca Alfredo from Brazil, Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro. Which one?
São Paulo, Bante.
Sao Paulo. Okay.
Rio de Janeiro is very many beaches.
Many beaches.
Beaches.
Sao Paulo is more business, for business center.
Yes, São Paulo is for business center.
Like New York. Like New York.
Yes. São Paulo is Manhattan. Big buildings.
Yeah, big buildings.
Yes, but now I live in forest.
In forest. How far away from 40 kilometers from the city?
40 kilometers, yes. Near Kutia.
Yeah.
And have Temple Zulai, Mahayana temple. They have a Buddhist Tibetan temple. Old Shaolin have Chinese temple, Temple Zulai.
Ajahn Chah's temple also, right?
Ajahn temple, no. In Brazil, not have.
I thought one of the disciples of Ajahn Chah have started a temple there.
No, in Brazil?
Yeah.
No. Brazil only forest. In Minas now with Ajahn Mudito is only a training for practitioner, but not have Ajahn Mudito's Sangha in Brazil. I don't know. Perhaps I don't know.
Ajahn Mudito still have monastery in Brazil, doesn't he?
Yes, he's trying to buy. He's trying to adopt a temple in Brazil. He's new. No, more or less has 10 houses, 10
kutis.
10 kutis.
Okay.
And he has a big temple. I don't know more details because I fast Ajahn Mudito. Ajahn Mudito for me is bad teacher. Bad experience for teacher.
Okay.
I have good teachers in Dhamma. You is good teacher. Ricardo Sasaki from the first Theravada teachers in Brazil, né? He follow Ajahn Buddhadasa.
Okay.
Ajahn Santikaro. Yesterday I made a email to Ajahn Santikaro. Ajahn Santikaro is American Buddhist, né? He's adjutant of Buddhadasa for 20 years. And now he is living in America, and he teachings Buddhism for other peoples. He teachings courses of Anapanasati and etc. For he is not more a monk. He is not more a monk. He is a monk for 20 years.
Okay.
And other peoples, Theravada is few in Brazil, né, Bante?
Yeah.
Theravada is a different Buddhism. Theravada is Upeka. Upeka,
Yeah.
Upeka is for no have in eyes, no have.
Like you.
Yes, I tried. I am a simple. I am a practitioner, Bante.
Okay, good.
Oh, but
Keep-
the fear of the war is very important, né, Bante? Very peoples are dying.
You have to look at the big picture. Everybody dies sooner or later.
No, yes, but
for every
yes,
birth
yes.
for every birth there's a death following.
No,
Look
yes.
at the big picture, and then you can accept everything. Yeah.
Yes, I like. I am a practitioner of Upeka. I'm not
Yeah.
problems
What can you
with
do?
the war.
What can you do? Can you stop the war?
No,
now?
I don't do anything. I don't do
Okay.
anything.
Let them fight. When they get tired, they'll stop.
Yes, he have her life to take her, né?
Yeah.
Russians and other peoples and Americans, he have her life to take, né? To take care.
If everybody followed the Buddha's teaching, there would be no war. The Buddha said, metta, loving kindness.
Yes. But it's difficult, né, Bante? We live in forest is more easy. Living in São Paulo, living in Manhattan in Houston is difficult, né, Bante? The interest is very, very big, né? Bante, let me ask to you. I don't investigate in other levels about wars in spiritual world. Spiritual world do not have wars for it, and not have wars for Jati, for
because
spiritual wars not have wars, né, Bante? Or
there's nothing to fight for in the spiritual world.
not have to
no
fight.
gold, no silver, no oil, nothing. So you don't fight.
Very good, but it's a good notice.
Okay.
It's a good news. It's a good news.
Yeah.
What are the problems that they have? The problems is not have vision, not have wisdom.
Yes.
To desperate.
That's right.
To enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
Is the only problem. Is
Yes.
not have not have wisdom to enlightenment. Eh?
Yeah. Avijja.
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks,
All
but I cry with the war, but many people died. Now I cry.
Yeah. But you never cry when people die in the hospital in your country.
No, yes.
There are people dying every day in your country. You never cry.
Yes. Yes. Yes, but
okay. All right. So cry. You should cry for everybody because there are people dying every day.
Yes.
So you don't have ubeka. You only have ubeka in names, but not in real life.
Yes.
If you have ubeka, if you have ubeka, then you don't cry.
Yes. That's anytime. One time I was walking with a bhikkhu, and American bhikkhu, very, very good bhikkhu. And I asked to you, but are you not suffering about other peoples in the world? And he looked to me and not talk nothing, né, Bante?
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult, né, Bante? The suffering of the world is very rude, né? The suffering of the world is very huge.
Look at all the chicken and all the cows and pigs that are killed every day
Yes.
for you, killed for you.
Thousands.
Millions, if you look for the whole world.
Yes.
So, this is what the Buddha said. Birth is suffering. When there is birth, then there will be aging, sickness, and death.
Yes.
So stop birth by practicing meditation.
No spiritual word, but no spiritual word.
Yeah.
Enlightenment.
Yeah.
Arahant, but
Okay.
my goal.
Okay, very good. I'll go
Good.
I'll go to Belinda now. Okay, Belinda from Singapore.
Good days for you.
学门的团队，所以是非常考验。
Ajahn, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Ajahn, I'd like to clarify.
You have something in the background. You turn on something.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Better.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
better. This is I hear say from others, so I thought it's better for me to clarify with Ajahn or Sangha now. This is something about sila in relation to kame sumichara. So when I was young, I was told that as long as you are not married, then another person would have a chance to intercept intercept any relationship. So as long they are not married, so there's a chance to. So once you are married, then you do not be the third party. But I see there's a lot of pain, like after people get into a steady relationship. So that was what is acceptable to the norm that I know of. But at later stage, when I get to know Buddhism, there's a Dhamma brother said, once a person in a relationship, it's like a steady relationship, although not married, you shouldn't get close to the person. And then he said that it's actually told by the Sangha. So I'm not sure. There are many versions that people are telling different versions. So my take is that I think as long as it's better not to, once the person is attached, whether married or not, it's better to stay away. I like to seek Ajah's advice. What is the Buddhist way of seeing this?
Well, to be safe, don't be alone with somebody, the opposite sex. Yeah, because there will be room for temptation when you are alone and nobody around. So don't try to be around with the opposite sex one-on-one. It's okay if you have other people around, but this is one way to prevent temptation to arise. Okay, this is basically the practice. It's never be left alone with the opposite sex. Never be alone with the opposite sex. Okay, is this good enough?
So Ajahn saying that. So do we? My thinking is that if this is talking about relationships for lay people. So suppose once the person is attached, but they are not married, do we stay away from them? Because I know married, definitely we stay away. We minimize contact. But,
well, if they already have a relationship with someone else, what I'm saying is, whether a person has relationship or not, married or not, if he's your opposite sex, then you shouldn't be alone. Unless you plan to have him to be your partner, then you can be alone.
Okay, understood. So regardless of okay.
If you want to maintain these precepts, then you, according to the third precept of the 5 precepts, you're supposed to have sexual relationship with only your husband or wife.
So it's part of the restraint where we, as long as opposite sex, regardless of our status. So as long as we want to restrain from Kamesumiccara, we try not to be alone with.
That's right. That's
all right.
right.
Understood. Okay. Thank you, Bante, for clarification. Thank you.
Okay. Monica from Malaysia. You've been away for a while also.
Good evening, Ajahn. Yeah, we went for self-retreat during the Chinese New Year, from the 5th until 11. Then after that, we proceed with the retreat with the Ajahn King and Tanin Saro Bhikkhu for another 3 days.
Virtual meeting or physical meeting?
Actually, we did physical.
Physical, okay.
Physical, but Ajahn King and Tanin Saro Bhikkhu, they actually did a Zoom with us.
Oh, Zoom.
Yes.
They're not there. They're not there in person.
Yeah, they're not there because Ajahn King is stranded actually at Australia because he's not fully vaccinated yet. And Tanin Saro Bhikkhu, I think, is in America.
California.
Yeah, I think San Diego, I think so.
Yeah, nearby, near San Diego.
Yeah. So, and I saw a few of the participants here who were also at the course also.
I see. Okay,
yeah.
Good.
Because the retreat is done at the Ulu Tiram here at the Santi Forest Monastery under Bante Lee.
Okay, good.
So it's quite a big group.
Good. You have any questions tonight?
Yeah. Actually, when there's a lot of people, I find that my mind seems to run away. So today I would like to seek Tan Ajahn's advice. Let's say if there's a lot of people, what type of Dhamma object should I hold on or to remind myself so that the mind doesn't run away? Because when the mind keeps on running away, by the time when I want to do sitting meditation, I find it quite difficult to come down.
Like I say, you have to have something to anchor your mind, such like a mantra, Bhutto, Bhutto, or something like that, something similar. You can choose any object and try to use it as an anchor of your mind.
Okay.
Like keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto when you're around people. If you don't want to be swept away by them, and you just keep reciting Bhutto, 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 and try to avoid any conversation if it's possible. Buddha said you should not congregate, you should not mingle. If you have to, then try to avoid talking on top. Just do what you have to do. If you have to come together to eat, just do the eating. Don't carry conversation. This is not a social event, so don't feel bad if you don't have to talk to people. If people feel bad, then they don't understand the nature of practice. The nature of practice is to be mindful, to stop thinking. And when you talk, when you socialize, you have to think. That's when you lose your concentration, you lose your mindfulness, and will be overwhelmed with thoughts and emotions eventually.
Yeah.
So I think this is something that the people who conduct the retreat should emphasize and let people know. Some use the silent vow instead, and no talking. When you
actually the organizers did say the what I call silence to keep silent during the retreat. But then I also went for the self-retreat, is it? So self-retreat, there is nobody. It is free and easy. Free and easy. And then I also got involved with a bit of preparing the breakfast. So I think that's a little bit more extra socializing.
But sometimes you have to, because you're working in a community. So you have to share some of the burden of the community.
Yes, true.
So that's why it's better just to seek seclusion and practice on your own, if you can.
Okay. So it's still better to be to isolate if I really want to.
That's right. Like monks, sometimes they live in forest monastery. They still feel that they have some social responsibility. So that takes away the time of the practice. So they went to do Thanga instead. They went wandering in the forest alone and practice in the forest alone.
Okay.
That's the purpose. Because even in a practice monastery, you still have to do work to maintain the monastery.
So that means we have to really practice self-restraint seriously if we really want to progress further.
Yeah, because you don't want to lose your time. So your time is precious. If you have to spend your time on something else, it doesn't help your practice at all.
Okay.
Unless it's essential, like you have to eat, so you have to lose time eating, and when you eat, you have to have also preparation and so forth, and cleaning up. So you eat only once a day. So that reduces the amount of work that you have to do. If you eat 2 or 3 meals a day, then you have to do preparation and cleaning up 3 times instead of 1.
So that means during monastery work, we still try to reduce conversations. Am I right?
Yeah, you should not talk at all if it's possible. With monk, when we come down to do our work, we don't talk. We just concentrate on the work that we do, unless there's something really, very emergency or something that you have to say, look out, there's a snake behind you or something like that. Otherwise, you don't chat. You don't go, how are you? What's going on? You don't do that.
Okay. So I think it's my own fault. I have to train my mind not to be so busybody.
Your mind like to think, and when it thinks, it wants to let your thought come out through your mouth.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any way to stop this other than just a mantra?
Well, just what if you have to talk? You can put a plaster on your mouth.
Is there any way that we can remind the mind that it's time is so precious, it's so urgent? Is there anything like that?
Well, mindfulness. You have to remind yourself constantly. That's all. Okay. Don't talk. Don't think.
So let's say, like for monks, when they don't talk, actually, do they have anything that tell them, not to talk? Is there anything that make the sort of like to discipline the mind?
Yes, usually the teacher. The teacher will be reminding, don't talk. Somebody talk.
Okay.
The teacher will scold, not just remind, just really.
Okay.
Then you become very scared. Next time you don't want to talk because you can be scolded. You can be scolded.
Okay. So I must become my own head.
This is a good reason to have a really strict teacher. Strict teacher will, try to run a ship shape, tight ship. Everything has to be according to the rules.
Okay. Maybe I try to become my own teacher first at the moment.
That's the best if you can.
I'll try.
But if you cannot teach or discipline yourself, then you have to go to find a teacher who can do it for you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Next, Adeline and Philip from Malaysia.
Good evening, Ajahn. I actually have a question regarding last Sunday. It's just more of a clarification. I think one of the questions came in with regards to someone saying, while I'm meditating, can I use beats to count? And you say that it's better for you to count the mantra or the breath in your mind. If it's that so, how do you do it, and is it prescribed? Because I know that some teachers do not encourage but teach the students, at the initial stage when you are doing meditation, to count your breath. So how is it done, or when should you do it?
Well, if you use mantra, you say Bhutto 1, Bhutto 2, Bhutto 3, and when you get to 10, then you count back Bhutto 9, Bhutto 8 until you get to 0, then you start Bhutto 1 again, back and forth. Same thing with breath. Breathing in, you count 1, breathing out, you count 2.
Okay.
So
So
to
it
keep
goes
your
up.
mind more busy.
Okay.
Because if you're just watching your breath, you might have start coming in and take away your concentration.
Okay. So that method can be practiced if needed.
At the start of the practice, but ideally it's not to count, it's just to use the mantra alone or just to watch the breath alone. But if you cannot do that yet because your mind keep running away, then you want to add extra burden on your mindfulness. You have to be mindful of your count, and you also have to be mindful of your mantra at the same time. But after a while, when your mind stop running away, then you can then switch back to just mantra alone, or just watching the breath alone. It's like when you're beginning, sometimes you use chanting instead first. Chant until you feel your mind is more or less settled, not running away. Then you can focus on your breathing or on your mantra. So this is something you have to try. For each different people, different person might works differently. So there's no fixed formula for everybody.
So it's whatever calms the mind, whatever object comes.
Some people use wisdom. Sometimes they worry about the war, and then suddenly they realize, oh, we are born and we will die sooner or later. Then we stop worrying about the war and we come back, and then we can concentrate on our breathing or something. This is called wisdom developed samadhi. Using wisdom, using the three characteristics, anicca, especially anicca. Everything in this world is anicca or anatta. Everything is not under our control. War are not under control, right? If war going to break out, they're going to break out. It's like stone, like fire, forest fire. You cannot stop them. You cannot prevent them. Even how hard you try, no matter how hard you try, it happens, right? So you just let it be, accept them for what they are, and leave them alone, and then come back and concentrate on the breathing.
Okay.
This is called wisdom developed samadhi. Using wisdom, using the three characteristics of existence to settle your mind, to calm your mind, to the point where you can then concentrate on your meditation object. Okay?
Okay.
That's all.
Next,
Thank you.
we go to the other side of the world, to Julia in Colorado. Near where? Near Denver or near Adams State? Adams State is in what?
You remember? Sawadika, Pra Ajahn.
Oh, you been to Thailand or something?
I don't know what to ask. I'm so thankful, so thankful for the teachings.
You still in the same place where you were last time?
Yeah, I have 31 more days, and then I have to figure out what to do.
Can you extend it if you wanted?
That depends. There's another yogi coming in
I see.
April,
Oh.
but last time he delayed. So I don't know, maybe, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I feel like in the practice, there's access to peace, but then my mind, sometimes it likes to dwell in like a very big sort of space. But then other times it likes to investigate in the chitta, and there's like a curiosity, like how do the elements keep going? Like the chittas perpetuate the like generations of chittas, and then my mind gets very like focused, and then I go back to dwelling very big again. So I don't know, maybe I should just sit with that and notice.
I think the goal is to keep your mind empty of thoughts.
Empty. Okay.
To be merely knowing instead of thinking. Because everything we think are all illusion. We are all thinking about illusions, about people and things and so forth. They are all illusion. This whole entire physical universe are all an illusion. Because they are impermanent, so they become illusion.
Yeah.
So it's a waste of time to dwell your thought on illusion. They are not real. The only real is emptiness. You should dwell your mind on emptiness because it's always there. It's not impermanent, and it's permanent.
Okay.
It's all your thought creating all this knowledge, and deceive you, make you think that they are so and so, and so forth.
Okay.
But when you really look at them, they're just an interpretation of the natural world, which is an impermanent world. So it's an illusion. It's like a dream. Everything that we feel or see or touch, they're not real.
So what is my duty then?
To not be attached to them, be attracted by them. Just if you have to exist with them, just merely exist with them. Understand them that they are not real. And you could leave them alone. You don't have to do anything with them. You can leave them alone. They come and go by themselves. They rise and cease by themselves. Everything that rises will cease one day.
Tesang vupasamo sukho.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
By relinquish this thing, leave them alone, then you'll find the supreme happiness, which is emptiness.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Ajahn. Okay.
All right.
I'll try.
Besides the place where you stay, your real home is also in Colorado, right?
Yeah. My real home is north of here. So
how far away?
1 hour and 8 minutes.
Okay, not very far.
Yeah.
Good. But there are other places you can find for practice, right?
We shall see.
Maybe your own home isn't good enough for practice.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, you're welcome. Next, Disaya from Bangkok. Disaya, are you from Bangkok?
Namaskar, Ajahn. I am from Narathiwat, Thailand.
Okay, Southern Thailand.
Southern Thailand.
Okay. Any question?
Yes, I have. I have maybe 2 questions. I have been practicing, and last week maybe I found a dog. They have a car accident, and I can't even help them because it suddenly died. But I think I'm so depressed about the dog. I want to help and let. I don't know. I think when I see people die, I think they have they can control their mind to live with peaceful, but the dog or any animal, they can't. And can you please enlighten me to how to?
How do you know that they can?
I don't know. I just
You presume it's your presumption, that's all. Your mind or human mind or animal minds are the same, have the same nature. So
they can control their
some
mind.
can, some cannot. It depends if they have been trained to do so or not. Some human can calm their mind, some human cannot calm their mind. So it depends on their training, which we call good karma.
Okay, when I see my uncle die, and he was the monk in Wat Pa Ban Tat before, and I don't depressed about him or worried about him, because I think I just think that he can.
Yeah, you presume, see.
Yeah.
It's all in your thoughts, see. What is real, you don't know, really. Because you cannot read the mind of other people or animals.
Yes.
So the Buddha said, just use ubekha, just accept that everybody die. Good birth, good death or bad death depend on their good or bad karma. So if they do a lot of good karma, they have a good death. If they do a lot of charity, keep the precept and meditate, then they will have a good death. The mind will be calmer. And people who don't give to charity or keep the precept or meditate.
And when people do the charity or help people, for me, I think I can't. For me right now, I can't. I'm not brave enough to help people when they have any accident, because I can't look at them when they suffer. And can I meditate and brave enough? Can I? Or for me, what?
You mean your meditation will make your mind
brave?
You're stronger. Yes. Right now your mind is very weak, so you need to develop meditation to get some ubekha. Ubekha will keep your mind steady and not emotional.
Okay, and even I want to help them, that for me, I have to meditate and let my mind stronger more than this.
Before you can help other people, you must have the strength to do so. If you don't have the strength, then you cannot help other people or animals.
Okay, and the next question about the positive thinking. I have been watching the life coach in so a lot of life coach in social media that taught me that when people think about if I want to reach, I have to think that I will reach one day, and focus everything in the positive way. Don't look at the bad side in my life. But I think it's not balanced, or it's not related to the Buddhism.
Yes, Buddhism teaches us to look at the reality of life. And the Buddha said everything is impermanent. Everything is anicca. Life is anicca.
And if we accept,
even if you succeed and you get rich, you die anyway. So what happens when you die? All your richness disappear anyway.
okay, and if I accept all of the impermanent, I will be.
You will give up all your possession and become a nun. Because it will make you have happiness and you have no suffering. Because right now you suffer because you worry about your possession, right? Am I going to have this with me all the time? Will I lose it one day or not?
I will be happier than focus in just the positive side or for positive thinking, right? For the
focus on the real side. The real side.
Okay.
Real is everything is not reliable. Everything you have is not reliable. You don't know when you're gonna lose it. Okay. So if you prepare your mind for this, when you lose it, you will not feel bad. But if you're not prepared for losing, when you lose, you feel very bad.
Okay, I got it. Thank you so much.
The goal of Buddhism is not to get rich or to be famous. The goal of Buddhism is to get rid of suffering in your mind, dukkha from your mind. Because dukkha is very, very dangerous to the mind. And it can destroy all the happiness that you get from your riches or your fame. Even the richest man in the world will still cry, you suffer. But the poorest man in the world, like the Buddha, are always happy. The Buddha and his noble disciple, they are the poor people. They are real poor. They don't have any possession except their bow and their robes. But they're always happy because they have nothing to worry about. When you have, then you worry about what you have, right?
Yes.
If you don't have, then you don't worry about it. If you have a husband, you'll worry about your husband. If you have children, you'll worry about your children. But if you don't have anything, then what is there to worry about? Your body, even your body, you have to also relinquish. Say, this is not my body. This body belongs to nature. I only borrow it from nature. One day I have to return it to nature. Then you won't have any dukkha, no suffering.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ajahn.
Okay. Thank you for coming in. How did you get to know this room?
I have been joined the in Thai version and
I see.
and today I just try to.
Okay, good. You're welcome to join anytime you like, but you only have to speak English.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you
Next,
so much.
Sarah Ann from Singapore.
Namaskar, Luang Por. I have many questions, but I think I will just ask the first few first. Regarding sila, okay, like prostitution is very common these days, and I heard of a person who can see his past life. He was a single guy and he paid for services, and he saw that he actually went to hell for many years before he can actually get back into human body. So he really discouraged people from doing this sort of thing. But I don't understand, because it is a business transaction, and it really is, the women is willing to do this for money, and the guy is single, he's not harming anybody, he is paying money to help the person for her livelihood. So I don't understand why it is wrong in this way?
Well, this is your presumption, see, that you look at it this way. But the man might have a family, and he might just sneak from his family and find no pleasure outside of the home. And then coming back to the home might bring the disease back to the wife. So this is one of the reasons, hygiene for keeping this precept. So no sexual disease can be transmitted. And also the person who doing this business is really not something that he or she wants to do really, but they are forced to do due to the poverty maybe, or due to their lack of tenacity to study or to work hard, to do other work. They find this is an easy work to do. But they can also be subjected to disease, catching disease, and it's more harmful for them. So prostitution is considered not a good practice for humans because it's imitating animals. And animals don't have a fixed relationship, right? Animal will just have any relationship whenever they feel like having it. So they're really putting their mind on the lower level of existence when you practice prostitution or visiting prostitution. So you're similar to dogs, or, who will just find any couple, any partner to have sexual intercourse with. We humans are considered higher, more noble, because we can distinguish good and bad, right and wrong for us. So that's why this is the reason for keeping this precept, to indicate that that to have unsafe sex or not a fixed partner sex can be more harmful than useful to you. And also in restrain your sexual desire. So because sexual desire is considered bad for the mind, it can be a hindrance to your path to enlightenment also. See, people don't understand this thing if they don't look at the goal of Buddhism is to steer the mind toward enlightenment, steer the mind away from this sensual pleasure world, which will keep it coming back, reborn again and again, endlessly.
Thank you, Ajahn. Then there's also another, a few of them, they actually says that if you keep the 8 precepts regularly, not eating, no makeup and stuff like that, and they go to heaven for many years, and people, they really believe in this. And I understand now that it is, yes, steering the mind free from sensual desires, but just strictly because I want to go to heaven and I just don't want to eat, and I don't see the logic in that, Ajahn.
No, you eat, but eat enough just to keep the body going. You don't want to find pleasure from eating. You want to find pleasure from meditation instead, which is much higher, better than the pleasure you get from eating. So you have to give up one to get the other, to get to the other. You cannot have both. If you eat and then when you meditate, you become sleepy if you eat too much. So you eat just enough to provide the body with sustenance, to keep it going. And you want pleasure, don't get pleasure from eating, because you are overweight, you will become overweight and you have all sorts of medical problems coming. You have obesity, you have heart disease, you have all sorts of problems medically. But if you only eat once or twice a day, you probably won't have any of this problem. And also then you will have time to meditate. Then you can find a better type of happiness, the happiness from calming the mind. Okay.
Yeah. It's quite difficult for me because even though I'm old, I still need a lot of carbohydrate. So when
I think you're just an excuse for your desire.
Okay.
You know, I'm 74 years old, I only eat once a day. Yeah. So that's not the reason.
Okay.
It's more an excuse, not the reason. Excuse to eat more. You need more carbohydrate. Look at the weight, how much you weigh. There's a standard weight for your height, right? If you're so tall, you should only weigh so much. If you're overweight, then it means you have too much carbohydrate already.
I never overweight. I'm always just
Anyway, the pleasure from eating is not as good as from the pleasure from meditation. You should try meditation, and then you'll find that you've been stupid for a long time. You don't know there's something better existing, waiting for you.
Yeah, I understand, Ajahn.
You need somebody like the Buddha to tell you. We all need the Buddha, or else you won't be here. We will be going to bars and pubs right now, or drinking, or eating, or watching movies, and doing all sorts of things.
I think the samadhi pleasure is so difficult to get that even if I've gotten it already, it is so difficult to get it again. So it's easier to go down.
Yeah, walking downhill is a lot easier than climbing up the hill.
Yes. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, you're welcome. Kwan Liman from Malaysia.
Good evening, Prajan. Prajan, thank you very much for explaining the knowing elements on Sunday. This is a very precious knowledge. May I ask again, Prajan? So this knowing element will help to stop the craving arises from sanya and sankhara and disconnect the stream of consciousness. So the knowing element is to know the process of the mind as in paticca samuppada.
That's the working of the defilements, avijja. When you have avijja directing the mind, then the mind will be directing outward toward the sensual objects. And once you have the teaching of the Buddha, which is the truth of the avijja or Dhamma, then it tells you to meditate instead and bring the stream of consciousness back inside the mind and find happiness inside the mind, rather than finding happiness from the sensual objects. Because sensual objects are temporarily impermanent, and the tools you use, the body, is also temporarily. So sooner or later, you will not be able to continue having sensual pleasure. Then that's when you have depression, you have suffering. But if you can find pleasure from meditation, then you don't need the body. You don't need the sensual objects to keep you happy. Even you're blind or you cannot hear, you can still have happiness from meditation.
Okay, thank you, Prajan. Prajan, can I ask another question, please? It's about dana. So last Sunday, I heard Prajan explain that for younger children, even if they do dana, because it's not their own money, so they could not generate merits for themselves. So what if they take out the red packet they receive from Chinese New Year or their birthday. So they take out this money to do a dana. So does this help them to generate their own merits in this
Yes,
way?
if it comes from their own initiation, if they want to do it and want to sacrifice the money that they have, then they get the merit. First, it has to be your money, and you have to have the intention of giving away that money. And then you will feel, you will be generating good feeling, which we call merit. But you cannot give the red packet to your children and say, okay, take this and give to the monks. Then they don't consider, they don't feel anything. They're just doing what you ask them to do. But if you say, this is your money, you can do with whatever you want to do. And then the next morning you say, let's go to the temple and go give some food to the monk. And they say, I want to give some food also. Can I buy with my own money? And then that is the merit will be generated that way.
Okay, good. I don't have children, but I'm asking for my nephew actually.
But you can train them first by taking them to practice to give dana with you, and then they will understand why giving, because they can see that there's some benefit from the person who receive it, at least if not from the giver, they can see the benefit from the receiver. So
Yeah,
one wants to make them want to make the dana later on when they have the money to do so.
Mm.
But if you don't train them in this way, then they might not see any reason why I should do any dana. I should spend my money on buying things I want to buy, buying a new computer, buying a new phone, whatever.
Mm. Yeah, I always take my nephew to the temple. He's only 4+, and he's always happy to offer to the monks and to give. But those things are brought by me. So, so in a way, he has to learn first, and maybe next time I ask him to take his own red packet money to do it.
You cannot even ask that, really.
Or cannot ask?
Yeah, because you've been forcing him to do it. It's better just to invite. Say, I'm gonna give some dana. You wanna join? And if he wants to, okay, I want to contribute with my own money.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prajan.
Okay, you're welcome. Willie from Indonesia.
Good evening, Thanachan. Today I don't have any question. Thank you.
All right, Kok Seng from Singapore.
Good evening, Ajahn. Yeah, tonight I have a question. I have a question to sneak. I've been doing some reflections recently, and I just like to check with Ajahn. When I was about 9 years old, and that was the first time when I saw a Buddha statue. But it's actually a Taoist temple. I was brought to the Taoist temple by my cousin, who is about 20 years my senior. So the first time when I saw the Buddha statue, I was very, very happy, and there is a sense of homecoming. So my question is this sense of homecoming that I have, is it a result of my past karma in my previous life, that there is for some unexplained reason, very, very strong happiness arising just looking at the Buddha statue?
Probably. I don't have any psychic power to tell you that, to really confirm that. So, but it's not important. Really. How it came about. What is important is what was happening at that time. It was a good feeling, then it's good. It means you're attracted to the Buddha. Better than when you don't feel anything at all, then you might not be attracted to the Buddha.
Yeah, and also reflect that I mean, when I was young, even though from the temple, I actually read one of my first Buddhist book, What Buddhists Believe by K. Sri Dhammananda of Malaysia Buddhist Society. But at that time, I have not hear any Dhamma teaching from any Buddhist monk. So the first time when I heard Dhamma talk was an Australian monk at the Buddhist library. That was about 20 years old. But at that time, I know that I was not ready to become a monk, even though each time when I hear the Dhamma talk, I was very, very happy. But I know that I'm still sexually attracted by people of opposite sex. I know that I want to get married and so on. So I did. So I got married, have children, and householder. So my question is, how I'm for this in this lifespan, I'm not ready to lead a monastic life. So my question is, what do I need to do that in my next human birth, I would have that kind of inclination to become lead a monastic life, become a bhikkhu, a monk?
Well, you have to do it now. See? If you don't do it, then you won't have that inclination. Inclination is the result of what you did in the past. It will push you to do what you used to do before. So in your next life, you'll probably repeat the same thing that you've been doing in this life.
So my sexual desire will still carry me over to the next birth.
Yeah, everything you do becomes a habit, see? Being part of your character.
Okay.
But you can change your character by doing what you by changing what you do now.
Okay. So that means at the moment I'm still not able to live the householder life. So I will practice celibacy for the remain for as long as I can.
Well, you can try doing it slowly, step by step. Like maybe start keeping the 8 precepts once a week first. Then maybe do it twice a week and 3 days a week. Just keep increasing your 8 precept practice. And then eventually, along with doing meditation, not just keeping the 8 precept only. Keep the 8 precept to support your meditation practice. And if one day you ever come across the result of your meditation practice, then you might have the energy or the inspiration for you to spend more time in a monastery life temporarily first. Maybe go and stay in monastery for 3 days, 5 days, and then maybe eventually decide to stay forever.
Okay.
If you find that it's good for you. The Buddha said the best thing for the mind is the result you get from your meditation. Peace of mind. Nothing can give you peace of mind except meditation. Everything else will give you chaos of mind. Bring chaos to your mind, everything that you have or you're involved in. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Next, Alvin, I was going to call Amanda, but look at your faces.
Sorry, Tan.
Okay, never mind. It's okay.
Sorry, Tan. I didn't forget to change the name. Not mindful enough. Tan Ajahn, to ask this question again on walking meditation. When we practice walking meditation, we are actually practicing mindfulness, right? Can we also practice samadhi and vipassana during walking meditation?
You can practice vipassana. You can contemplate on the impermanent nature of things. But you cannot do samadhi because your body is still moving. That means your mind is still working. When you enter samadhi, you want to stop both the body and the mind from working.
Okay. That's why going back
unless you come something suddenly that cause you to stop, like you walk and you come across a tiger or something like that, and then suddenly stop your mind, stop your body at the same time.
All right, but in this case, right, Tanajan, see, if I stop and I practice the standing meditation, I can go into samadhi.
Yes, if you stand.
If you stand, right?
Yeah, because then the body becomes still.
Okay, so going back to the Philip's question that last Sunday I heard, I also heard somebody asking Tanajan about whether you can count the beats. So that there is a body movement. That's why this is that is being discouraged, right? You can't go into samadhi with moving your finger and counting the beats, right?
That's right. That's right. You can do mindfulness with that, but it will not get you into jhana.
Okay, Tanajan. Okay. Thanks.
You can do this at the start of your meditation to calm your mind down. If your mind keeps running away, then you can use this beat counting if you like. But after you have done enough and you feel that your mind is calm enough to just sit still and watch your breath, and you stop counting the beats.
Okay, Tanajan. Thanks.
Okay. Next, Sri and Jack from Vancouver, Canada.
Hello, Ajahn. Ajahn. Ajahn, I heard your talk about the 10 ways of making boon.
Making merit. Making good feeling, really, that's what it means. 10 ways of making yourself happy.
10 ways of making yourself happy. Oh.
Yeah. One, charity, dana. When you give dana, you feel happy, especially to a good cause, like helping someone, makes them have a better life, or help them alleviate their suffering and hardship. It will make you feel good. You feel happy doing that. Second, precept, keeping the precept also will make you happy, because you know you're not hurting anybody. Third is bhavana, meditation. Practice meditation will make you happy. Fourth, called the sharing of your merit. After you have made merit from dana, then you can dedicate part of this merit to the deceased, the spiritual beings. Like someone that you love, like your parents. Since you cannot give them money now because they're gone, you can at least give them merits that you have made. So this is the fourth one. I think the fifth one is to appreciate, or to what you call anumodana with other people's good practice, good karma. And people do good thing, you should feel good with them, feel joy for their good action. Then you also feel good, rather than trying to say, "Oh, this is not." You're just acting. You're just showing the world. You say, "Okay, he's very generous. He's very nice. Okay, really appreciate what he does." Then you feel happy with the person's actions. This is also the way to make yourself happy. Or when you see some organization like the Red Cross, like right now during the war, Red Cross go and help people. And you say, "Oh yes, I really appreciate what they do." You feel happy with them. Or even you might want to contribute and help them. Also, by donating money to the Red Cross. This is also another way of making yourself happy. The next one is make yourself happy by being humble. Humble. When you're humble, you don't have to show how big or how good or how rich you are. You're just being humble, and you don't have to prove anything to anybody. And this can make you happy. If you want to prove, "Oh, I'm great, I'm smart," and And if people don't appreciate what you're trying to prove, then instead of being happy, you can get angry. So it's better just to feel humble, to practice humility. And also, it doesn't hurt other people. People don't mind humble people. People don't like arrogant people. People like humble people, because humble people doesn't cause any bad feeling with other people. And I think the next one is to serve others. You might not have money to give, but you have time, you can serve the community, for instance, doing community service, public service, or just helping somebody next door. You see an old lady who might need help, to take her to the hospital or something like that, or help mowing the lawn for her. When you do this is also a way of making yourself happy by doing community service, serving others. That's what it means. And then the next one is to have the right view, have samadhi. Right view is to have the right view of how to make yourself happy by giving dana, by keeping the precept. This is considered having the right view. Some people have the wrong view. They think in order to be happy, they have to buy a new car, buy a new set of robes, buy a new house, buy a yacht, and they're only happy for a few days, and then they have to look after what they bought, right? And if anything goes wrong with them, then it can cost them a headache. So if you have the right view, then you won't buy these things. You give money to charity instead, to make you really happy and having no dukkha. Because once you give away the money, that's it, right? But if you buy something, then you have to look after what you buy again. So this is having samadhi, having the right view of how to make yourself happy. And then I think the nice one is if you don't have the right view now, then you have to study the teaching of the Buddha, listening to Dhamma talks in order to get right views. And listening to Dhamma talk is also a way of making yourself happy. Because when you know what's right and wrong, what's good and bad, then you can stop doing the wrong thing and doing the right thing. So that's the nice way of making yourself happy, is to listen to Dhamma talks, to study the teaching of the Buddha. And the fifth one is to share the Dhamma that you have learned with other people. You say, oh, I feel happy because I'm keeping the precept. Then you can tell other people, if you want to be happy, keep the precept. This is sharing of Dhamma. These are the 10 ways of making yourself happy, according to the Buddha's teaching. Not having a husband or wife, not having a new condo, or going on a holiday, or anything like this. These are fake happiness. They only last very briefly, and then followed by all sorts of problems. And it also causes you to become addicted to them. When you don't have them, then you feel miserable. You feel depressed. But the 10 ways of making yourself happy, according to the Buddha, will not cause any depression or any sadness. When you cannot do it, when you cannot give dana, okay, so what? Okay, you cannot afford to give it now, so no problem. But you won't be addicted. You won't feel you're lacking something. Okay.
Wow, that's so good, Ajahn.
Where did you hear? Did you hear it from? Did you read from reading the book or something?
I heard from one of your old video, and then I had question about the one that about being humble and the right view one. But just now you explained it so well. Wow, amazing, okay. So good. Yeah, that really really good, Ajahn. Thank you. Wow.
Okay. Any question?
No.
You already read my mind. I wanted to ask about the right view and the humble one.
Okay.
And you explained it like, wow, so well.
Well,
Amazing.
since you mentioned the 10 ways of making merit, of making happy, make yourself happy, I covered the whole 10.
And you can remember all of it. Wow, so good, Ajahn. Amazing.
You don't remember. Once you understand, it stays with your mind. If you
Oh.
memorize it, you can forget. But once you understand it, it will always stay with you in your mind.
Oh.
So the study of Dhamma is not to memorize, it's to understand.
Oh.
Once you understand, you will never forget.
Oh.
But if you memorize, you can forget. If you stop thinking about it for a while, you forget.
Yeah.
So you have to understand.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we want,
And the only way to understand is to do the practice yourself. You have to do all 10 of them.
Mm.
And then you can appreciate the results from doing it. You can feel the happiness arising in your mind. Then you understand, oh yes, that's why I have to do this thing, because it makes me happy.
Mm.
Right now, you're still listening, you're still memorizing what I say. You have to do it. Once you do it, then you say, I see, I understand what he means.
But now I'm experiencing the number 9. Ajahn.
You can see it. You can see it. Okay.
I can see it very much by all the, I am experiencing it right now.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn.
Sri, you have any question?
Tanajan, like, so when we experience it, this is like sanditiko.
Yeah, sanditiko.
And then you will never forget.
You never forget.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's clear. Thank you for clarifying.
That's why we have to practice, not just to study alone. Study does not impress your mind. You stay briefly and then it can disappear from your mind when you study something. But when you apply it in your life, in your action, in what you do, then it will stay with you because you can see both the cause and the effect, the action and the result arising from this action.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Tanajan.
Gary from Singapore. You have to
Hello. Yeah. Hello, Tanajan. Can you hear me?
Any questions from you?
There's one question regarding the goal of meditation, because recently I've heard from another monk on the YouTube video regarding the goal of meditation, which is to stop the flow of the asava. That's what he said. So is that the same thing as what you have?
Yes, the flow of your thoughts, driven by your defilements, the flow toward cravings of sensual pleasure, cravings for being, craving for non-being. This is called the flow of the asava. Asava is just another name for cravings.
I see. So that's our ultimate goal, isn't it?
Yes, to purify the mind, to get rid of all the defilements. First, you stop it by using mindfulness, entering into jhana. Once you could stop the flow, then the next time is to eliminate the flow completely with wisdom.
Okay. All right, very clear.
Jhana cannot eliminate. Jhana can only stop the flow, but cannot eliminate. When you come out of jhana, the flow starts flowing again.
So you have to do vipassana.
Vipassana. You have to see the 3 characteristics of the objects of your desire, of your cravings. Then it will stop the flow permanently.
Okay. How about the vipassana includes, of course, the asoba practices?
Yes, everything. Asubha, anicca, anatta. Asubha is really part of anicca. The body change, right? When the body dies, it becomes asubha. When it's alive, it's still supha. still attractive. But once it dies, even if it's a Miss Universe, if she dies, I don't think they want to parade her anymore. Right?
Yeah.
That's a ninja, right?
Yes, Ajahn. Okay, that's all I have to ask. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for the teaching.
Next, Evie from Indonesia.
Yeah, Ajahn, Namo Buddhaya, Ajahn. Can Ajahn hear me?
Perfectly.
Ajahn, I want to ask, does sex before marriage bring bad karma? Is this a violation of precepts?
It's bad karma. It encourages more sex because it's so easy to get. But sex with marriage is harder to get, right? You have to commit yourself to your partner for the rest of your life. So you have to think very hard before you do it. But casual sex, you just can do it anytime. It's easy, and so it becomes more what you call addictive. Make you more addicted to sex.
Because they haven't get married, all right? And this is the violation of precepts?
Yes. The precept is to have sex with inside marriage, not outside of marriage.
And is there any good deed that can offset this karma? For example, for like having to do good 10 times or reading Parita 100 times.
The only good deed is to stop doing it.
To stop doing it. And what is the punishment of karma for this action?
You probably will be born as animals.
Oh, born as
because
animal.
this is the nature of animals, to have casual sex, to have easy sex.
Okay, born as an animal, but is that can causes whatever we do cannot succeed because of this action?
Well, you become a dog, then it's hard for you to become enlightened.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, Ajahn, I want to ask you about my meditation. While I was watching the breath, which varied like a long in or out short or a short in or out long, I felt something going down. I focused on the tip of nose, but why it always joined with my chest and descends as it descends into a low valley. This is a good place to hide and rest. I like to be in that lowest valley because when I don't meditate, this slowness is still felt.
You should not pay attention to anything. Just keep watching your breath.
But when I encounter unpleasant things, I feel safe here because it's a safe place.
That's because you watch your breath. If you stop watching, then it will disappear. So keep watching your breath.
Just keep watching breath, and everything will automatically
be better, be calmer and better.
Yeah. Sometimes when I watching the breath, like I'm not telling that I am deaf, but like my ears cannot hearing maybe.
Doesn't matter. You don't want to hear anyway. You don't want to hear anything. You just want to watch your breath. That's all you want to do. Ignore anything. Don't pay attention to anything else. Leave everything alone.
And why people wait? That is one of our family. He said when he meditated, he cannot hear anything.
That's his business. Don't worry about him. Worry about you.
Oh, so I feel wow. How it can be? I have
wasting your time.
Yeah.
Wasting your time. Come back to your breath.
Yeah, a little curious. Why can it be happen? Cannot hear anything 100%. So people playing, children playing in that place, he cannot hear. So I'm a little curious. Is that story is true or not?
You don't know. See, you don't know what they say is true or not. So that's why I say don't pay attention. You don't need to listen to anybody. You just listen to the Buddha. And his noble disciples. That's all you need to do. If you want to listen to anybody. Everybody else, you don't know whether they're talking the truth or not.
Yeah.
Even they themselves don't know what the truth is.
Just watching the bread, Ajahn.
Okay.
The Buddha said, okay.
All
Okay,
right.
thank you, Ajahn.
Let me go to Claudia. Claudia, haven't seen you for a while. How are you?
Good evening.
You're very
or
close
good-
to the wall now, huh? Only a couple of countries away.
Yes. So first of all, good afternoon from Germany, Tanachan. Yes, we are not too far away from the war, and I feel very grateful for your words you spoke today before, because of course I'm also scared, and listening to Dhamma helps me to become a little more calm, because war is about, from where we live, about 1,100 kilometers. And we had been in Berlin this weekend, and from Berlin it was only 700 kilometers. We expect many refugees. So after
Yes.
this conference, I will go and spend money for Dana, for the refugees who are expected to come here to Fürth, and to give them what they need.
Good. This is the time to do Dana.
Yeah, it is a time to do Dana. And this week we have vacation, so I work at school. At a school as a special needs teaching assistant, and we have a girl from the Ukraine, and it's just heartbreaking. She has relations, she has family in the Ukraine, and it's just heartbreaking to experience. And I'm so glad that I'm connected with Dhamma. It helps me.
Yeah, we just have to accept the truth, right? There are things that we cannot do anything about.
Yeah.
Even our own life is not, we cannot do anything about. Every step way to die, you cannot stop it from dying either.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you accept it, then your mind will not have any fear or have any suffering.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
So
good.
it's also-
It's a good Dhamma. So it's a good contemplation. Death.
Oh, yeah.
Death is. It reminds us that we eventually all will have to die also.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I know for sure is that I don't want to survive a nuclear war. So I rather die.
You cannot choose though, that's the problem. See?
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, and it's also helpful that I still do the precision work. So I also translated your book, but now I do the precision work. I'm halfway done with the precision work. So this all helps me to keep as much calm as possible under the circumstances.
Yeah, try to stay calm. That's the only way we can do. That's the only thing we can do is stay calm.
Yeah.
Once we are calm, then nothing can hurt us.
Yeah.
Okay, the body is not us.
Yeah.
The body is our servant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we cannot protect our body all the time.
Yeah.
But we can protect our mind all the time with Dhamma, with mindfulness and wisdom.
Yeah.
So
That's
try to
true.
keep being mindful and keep thinking about the three characteristics of existence.
Yeah.
Okay. You have any
Okay.
question tonight?
No, no, it's good to listen to your teachings, and I'm grateful that I'm here. Thank you.
How is your translation? How much have you done so far?
Yeah, so I translated the book already, but I do the precision work now. So I do the precision work. This means I correct the translation. I correct it.
Okay.
And when I'm finished, I will send it to Kenneth to Switzerland, and he will proofread it.
Okay, very good. He can speak. He speaks German also. He reads
Yes.
German. Okay,
Yes.
good.
Yes.
And he's a professor, so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. And after Kenneth did the proofreading, and if Kenneth agrees, we will publish it on internet.
Good. Okay. And we can. I can also post it on the Facebook page for people to download.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. It's good work. It's dana. So this is another type of dana, the giving of Dhamma.
Yeah. And it helps me.
Makes you happy also.
Yes.
Give you insight, give you right view.
Yeah.
You understand better.
Yeah. That's the truth. Yeah.
Okay. Nice to see you after a long absence.
Yes, yes. I work at school in the afternoon, so I can come only when we have vacation. Next time we have vacation is in April, so next time I will be here in April.
Okay. We'll see you then.
Yeah, see you in April. Thank you.
Okay. Next, where you from?คุณหมอ Dr. V. Let's see.
นมัสการครับพระอาจารย์ครับ I come here to learn and encourage myself to practice more อาจารย์
Okay, you're welcome.
I noticed that when I talk to you, I will have some power to meditate, and such as last Sunday I talked to you 1.5 hours. On Monday I can do meditation nearly 2 hours.
Yeah.
So
that's part of the result from listening to Dhamma talk or talking about Dhamma. It can give you energy and inspiration.
Yes.
That's why we should do this at least once a week.
Yes, I think so. I have some question, Ajahn. I will worry about the swallow saliva.
Swallow your saliva. Just ignore it. If it's gonna flow out of your mouth, let it flow. If you ignore it, then it will stop flowing. But if you keep thinking about it, it will keep flowing. Your mind keep generating, pushing the saliva to come out. But when you stop thinking about it, then it will stop.
Okay.
So just tell yourself it's gonna flow from your mouth. Let it flow. Just keep concentrating on your mantra or on your breath.
Okay.
It only becomes a problem when you think about it. If you don't think about it, it is no problem.
Yes. Okay. I will do it tonight.
Yeah, try it. Yeah. If it's gonna flow, let it flow.
Okay.
Think of it like sweat. Sometimes you see it and your body becomes real hot and then you start sweating. So if it wants to come out of your mouth, think of it as sweat. Let it flow. Just ignore it. Keep concentrating and it will stop.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Ajahn.
Just want to let you know, Dr. V is a Thai physician, and he gives good advice on medical issues in Thai on YouTube. He has about 700,000 followers on YouTube now. So it's quite popular in Thailand for people seeking medical advice. But he once a week invited me to join his channel to discuss Dhamma talk in Thai every Sunday night for 1.5 hours. I just want to let you know the relationship with him. Okay, thank you. No more question, right?
No more question. Namaskar, Ajahn.
Okay. Next, Sulan from Singapore.
Yeah. Hello, Ajahn. Yeah.
Anything? Any question?
I think I'm feeling happier. Yeah, and feeling good also. Thank you for your Dhamma sharing. Yeah, I just have one question. It's like why do we feel uneasy when we meet new people?
stop it, recite the mantra.
Oh.
Your mind just creating this guilt. See? So you can stop it by just sidetracking the mind from thinking about what caused you to feel guilty. And just keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. After a while, you forget what you were guilty about.
Oh.
Then the guilt will disappear. Or you can chant. If you don't like mantra, you can chant.
Yeah.
Okay.
I started meditating and chanting too.
Yeah, chanting and reciting the mantra is a way of meditation. It's part of the meditation. But you don't have to wait to find a place to sit and meditate. You can do this wherever you are. When you feel bad, anytime you feel uneasy or uncomfortable, just keep reciting the mantra or do some chanting mentally. You don't have to do it verbally. So no, you don't disturb anybody when you do it.
Oh, yeah.
Then your mind will become calm and peaceful. The stress, restlessness, and agitation will disappear. But you have to practice before you can do it. If you don't practice when you feel uneasy, you will not be able to do it. So try to keep reciting mantra as much as possible during your waking hours. Anytime you don't have to think, try to use the mantra.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's all?
Yes, all. Thank you so much, Ajahn.
Okay. Next, Judy Jonas from Canada. Are you in Canada? Toronto?
I'm actually at my cottage in Campbellford, which is a couple of hours from Toronto. I'm by myself here. Okay. And I've been meditating more than usual. And I think it's going well. And I just want to see if I'm doing the right thing, because when I'm meditating now, I think I get to a place where I feel really good. You know, my arms and legs are up. I don't feel them. And I think it's okay. And I'm feeling good. And then I'm going, oh, I don't want to get out of my car now. Like you told me that last time. Like, don't get out of your car. Mm-hmm. And then I just wonder, I start breathing because I'm supposed to focus on my breath, and then it sort of all goes away, and then I have to start over, and then it comes back, and then in a few minutes I feel really good again, and I'm going, oh, I'm not supposed to stay here, like just breathe, you know, and is that right?
That's right, just stay with the breathing.
Okay, because it goes away. Because I was thinking if I just say, ignore this feeling good, I like it, but then don't think about it, just breathe, it goes away.
Yeah.
That's okay?
You have to come back to your breathing to keep the good feeling continue on.
Yeah, but then it goes away and then it comes back a little bit later. Okay, so it's off and on, kind of like.
That's because your mindfulness is off and on, not continuous.
Okay. All right.
So try to make your mindfulness continuous.
I thought it's feeling good, and then.
Yeah, when you start, you're not mindful already. When you start to sing, you're not mindful already.
But it feels good, and I
I know. Feel it. You're distracted by the good feeling.
So what am I supposed to do?
Continue watching your breath, your breathing.
Okay.
Because you want to go further than this good feeling. You want to go deeper into emptiness.
Right. Okay. Good.
All right. Just keep driving the car. Don't get off the car.
I know. Well, that's what I was trying to do. Like you mentioned it last time. I'm going, okay, get out. Don't get out. Just keep going. Yeah. And it goes away. Yeah. And I've been doing it a few times. And then, okay, here's another question, kind of related. I wasn't sure whether I should time it at all, use a stopwatch, use a timer. So Debbie, my daughter, suggested instead of a timer for an hour, I should just put the stopwatch on and how long it takes, it, how long I can do it. And it seems like I can't make it to an hour without checking a few times on the stopwatch. Like I'm going, oh, it's only 30 minutes, 35, 40. So should I does it matter? Should I put the timer on? Or
it doesn't matter at all, unless you have something to do and you have to stop your meditation. If you have nothing to do, then you should not use the watch, the timer at all. Use mindfulness.
Okay, so then when I check, when I think, oh, this is enough, and I'm at 40 minutes, but I'm pushing myself to an hour at least. I have to stop maybe a couple of times and said, okay, I'm at an hour now. So I have to go back. Or is it better to just stop at the 40 minutes and do it again later? Or
don't pay attention to the time when you meditate. Pay attention to the breath. And if your concentration or mindfulness is good, you can sit for a long time without knowing it.
yeah, well, I haven't got past an hour yet.
Well, that's because you're not mindful with your breathing. You're mindful with the clock instead.
Okay, all right. Okay.
So don't use the watch. Don't use the timer. Forget about it.
But then if I don't have a timer, I'll stop at 30 minutes.
You won't if you're fixed with your breathing. If you're mindful of your breathing, you might pass 1 hour not knowing it.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
Don't worry about the time. This is a distraction to your meditation.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Either both the timer
Yeah.
and the stopwatch.
Yeah, when you think of it, then you're not mindfulness. You're not mindful. You're not meditating already. If you just start thinking, what time is it now? How long have I been sitting? Then you lose your mindfulness already.
Oh, okay. No, I'll try that because I'm at my cottage. I don't have to be anywhere anytime.
Okay,
so-
then just don't worry about the time. Worry about mindfulness.
Okay, thank you.
Am I being mindful with my breathing or not? That's all you have to worry about.
Okay, and then when I start to feel good, I might actually, I
Keep
forget
watching
to
your
breathe.
breathing. Keep watching, and just ignore the good feeling that arises.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, yeah, okay, because I've been doing more a few times per day, but I guess I won't use the timer anymore or the.
Yeah, and you'll find a difference, really.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's just if you have to be somewhere or whatever,
Right.
then you.
Then you use the timer.
Right. Okay, because, all right.
Okay,
Thank
because
you.
the goal is to sit for the goal is to make the mind calm for as long as possible.
Right. Okay. All right. No, it's feeling better, but it's weird that I would feel good and I would go to my breathing, but it just, shoot, I have to go to my breathing.
Yeah, just stay with your breathing. Don't go anywhere else.
Okay. All right. I will. Okay.
Let us
Thank
know
you.
what happened next time.
Okay. So I'll get rid of my timer, stopwatch, whatever. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. All right.
Next, Mandy from Crystal Beach.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Is that a real beach on the coast, or is it just the name of the town?
It's the name of the town, but it's on the southern coast of Canada,
Canada.
of Ontario.
On
So we're on
Atlantic coast or on the lake. This is on the lake.
On the lake, yes.
On the lake, okay.
Yeah, one of the Great Lakes, Lake Erie.
How are you?
I've had a rough couple of weeks. I haven't been able to join completely, but meditation and Dhamma is always my refuge. Time and time again. Yeah, I believe in it very much so, and trying to do my meditations, but I have a lot of outside agitation coming from different legal and doctors and things. And I'm able to always know that no matter how bad it's getting, I can go back into my meditation. I can go there and
yes, that's your refuge.
Yeah.
Think of it as
Yeah.
a refuge, a bomb
It
shelter.
is.
Every time you hear the siren, then you should go into the bomb shelter.
Yeah.
Just meditate, calm your mind, and then everything will be okay.
Yes, I believe that. I know
So try-
that in my heart.
Try to keep a regimen of meditation. Keep doing it constantly.
Yes.
Then it will be easier every time you do it.
Yes. Thank you. My question for today is kind of regarding more Buddhism than my practice. If a female decides not to conceive and not to have a child, does that mean she's reborn into a male's body?
No, not
or
necessarily. Not at all.
you could still go to animal life if you're sexual and things, but
If you abstain from sexual things, then you will become loftier, because you will then rely on a different type of happiness, which is meditation, for instance. And this will bring you up to the higher level of existence, not lower.
Okay.
But with sex, this will pull you lower, especially unlawful or unethical sex. Then it will pull you down to the animal realm of existence.
is it better for a female than if all females, I mean, it can't happen, but if all females decided not to have babies anymore, would that not achieve a goal?
That's not possible.
Yeah.
It's just it's just a thought, but it's not real. Reality is everybody who's born in this world are under the influence of this sexual desire. You have to fight against it. It's not easy, just for one person, not for the whole world. One person alone is quite difficult. How do you expect everybody to? Some people don't even think the same way. They think sexual is good for them. It's part of their nature. It's part of their life. That's why they live. They live for sexual pleasure, right? So to think that everybody will decide not to have sex, that's impossible.
But naturally, isn't our bodies are becoming infertile anyways?
But there will be new bodies replacing our body. We have newer generation born. You have people born every day.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So don't worry about this big picture. Worry about yourself alone. If you can get rid of, stop your sexual desire, you will be feeling much better because you won't be under pressure. Sexual desire is a pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Next, Jessica, I think she came by the number this time, 840806.
Hello, Tana-chan. I don't know what happened to my name today, but I don't mind if you call me that as well. It's just a name.
You're just a robot, right? Your body is just a robot, an android.
Exactly, Tana-chan. So I don't know what happened. I tried signing in many times before. I think there was something wrong with it. So today I am just a number. Tomorrow I don't know what I am, but for today, yes, a robot.
Yeah.
So I signed up already for the course for the 4th till the 6th to go practice. So I'm very happy, as well as I will be there and, you know, having all the energy from you, the talisman. You're no longer the Santa Claus, but a good energy talisman. I just noticed that. So thank you for that. So I just wanted to ask you some one question. As you know, with everything that is going on, there are a lot of suffering, mental suffering with outside matters. As you know, the Buddha taught that we must walk the middle way. So I know that most people who have not yet trained enough to have mindfulness, they tend to go towards the pleasant feeling, happiness, desire, things like this. How does one have wisdom, Ajahn? Like, does it, for other people it will take longer, I understand this, but if you have somebody who has not yet seen that pleasant feeling and unpleasant feeling, they are actually just emotions that we give it meaning to, but actually they are not us. So with wisdom, with mindfulness, it becomes wisdom, or with
wisdom is understanding the nature of things.
Yes.
That is the anicca nature of things, the temporary nature of things, the permanent nature of things.
Yes.
And the uncontrollable nature of things. They are like the weather. The feelings are like the weather. They come and go like the weather. You cannot tell them when to come and when to go.
So those are like the emotions of sadness.
Yeah, so you learn to live with it. Now you learn to live with the weather.
Yeah.
So once you can learn to live with the changing nature of things, then you will not be upset. You won't be sad. You're sad because you are upset because you don't want good feelings to disappear, right? You want good feeling to continue on forever. But that's not possible, right?
But they are one of the same thing, aren't they, Ajahn? It's just a meaning. We just
it's
give
not
it
meaning. It's not meaning. It's real.
Attach.
Good feeling and bad feeling is real. It's not one and the same thing. They are the opposite. It's like fire and snow. One is cold and one is hot.
It only affects if you give it attachment to it, though. Once you don't have attachment, it doesn't mean anything. That's also like correct?
Well, you can say that, but it's still cold and still hot, whether you're attached to it or not.
Okay.
But you learn to live with it. You just don't want to take just one or not the other, because they come together at a different time.
It's just light and day. It's just like night and day.
That's right.
Part of nature.
Yeah, part of nature.
Okay, Ajahn.
The problem is we don't want to accept the bad feeling. We only want the good feelings.
We're addicted to it. I know. The taste of it.
When the bad feeling comes, you want to run away from it or get rid of it. And when you cannot get rid, you become frustrated, depressed, and stressful. But if you learn to accept it by using meditation, mindfulness, by remaining calm and let things come and go by itself, then you won't be affected by the coming and going of these good and bad feelings.
They come and go on their own time. I also understood that. It's like you cannot say, like the weather. You cannot say, oh, today I want happiness. Tomorrow I don't want suffering. And they come and go like the weather. Yeah.
So you have to teach your mind to learn to accept them both equally. If you like happiness, you also have to like sadness, bad feeling. If you like good feeling, you also have to like bad feeling. Because they are the two sides of the same coin.
Yes, exactly. But most people prefer heads.
But you cannot get a head all the time, right?
Of course, unless you're Thanachan.
That's a different kind of happiness. There's the happiness from calm.
Yes.
But the Buddha and his noble disciples still experience the good and bad feelings, just like you ordinary people do.
Yeah.
But they are not affected by them themselves. They have equanimity. They have calm.
So to develop that, you need to meditate.
Meditate, mindfulness, and wisdom.
Wisdom. Not just one sitting, of course, but
Oh no,
doing your
lifetime.
daily, your activities.
Some Ajahn practice for 20 years before they become enlightened.
Okay.
So don't expect sudden enlightenment like in Zen Buddhism or something like that. But you can sit for 1 hour and then you suddenly become enlightened.
It's I think it's a lifelong thing, Thanachan. It's not just,
Or maybe many lives, maybe not just this one life.
I just hope that, whichever life you're born into, let it be like a human life. If it's a dog life, you cannot sit and meditate. So hope and pray that next life you have 2 arms and 2 legs, so you can.
If you can meditate and give the precept, you won't be born as a dog. That's for sure.
Exactly. But Thanachan, even as a human, we act like animals. So sometimes there's no difference.
That's because we still have traces of animal left inside the mind.
Exactly.
And we're not trying to stop it when it comes up.
Yeah, I agree. So Thanachan, thank you.
So you're coming on the 4th. That's a couple of more days from now.
I'm
3 more days.
I'm actually pretty ready.
Coming alone, or you have somebody else?
I have one of my friends coming with me, and she's very excited for it as well. She's never met you, but she has been also watching the YouTube channel and the Facebook.
This is the individual course. No teacher. No. You just attend the morning and evening chanting and meditation.
Do it on your own.
On
I'm
your
guessing.
own. Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
that's okay. Just being near you give us very good energy. So I will share this merits to everybody that's here.
Okay, see you then.
Yes, see you, Thanachan.
Okay. Next, Lillian from Bangkok. Lillian.
Good evening, Thanachan. No questions today, just getting more motivation from this Dhamma talk.
Okay, good to see you again.
Yep.
Akash Ketan from Thailand.
Namaskar, Ajahn.
Where are you in Thailand? Bangkok?
Ajahn, I'm near Bangkok. It's a province called Nakhon Pathom.
Nakhon Pathom. That's where the big pagoda is. That's the largest pagoda in Thailand.
Yes, Ajahn, and I'm in near Mahidol University,
Okay.
town called Salaya.
Salaya.
Yes. So I want to ask you about my posture. I feel like it's very hard for me to keep my back straight, especially when I'm sitting, and I almost have to keep fighting with myself to stay straight. Do you have any advice for me?
Yes, the posture of the body is not important. What's important is mindfulness when you meditate. So when you start, you try to sit upright. But once you start do the meditation, then you just forget about the body. If it's gonna lean back and forth or becomes anything, don't pay attention, because it will distract you from your meditation. So no problem, even if you sit and then you crouch eventually, just forget about it. If you're mindful, then you won't. If you're not mindful, then you might.
Is it easier to be mindful when the back is straight? And is it more easy to fall asleep or something like that when we start to slouch?
Not really. Mindfulness depends on how much you develop, not on the position of the body. So you have to develop a lot more mindfulness before you start meditating. If you start to develop mindfulness while you meditate, then you have little mindfulness to start with. But if you do mindfulness long, a few hours, from the time you get up to the time you meditate, then you have lots of mindfulness. So when you meditate, then you can become calm easily and quickly. So don't worry about the posture of the body when you meditate. Just sit it. When you first started, you just make sure that you can sit with a straight back and then not tense or not too relaxed. And then once you have set up your body, then forget it. Start watching your breathing. And if you feel you're leaning to the left or right, don't move it. Some people say, oh, my body is moving to the right, I should move it back to the left. And there's too much to the left, then you end up not meditating, but you try just to adjust your body posture. Then you don't get any success from your meditation. So remember, when you meditate, the only thing that matters is your meditation object, whether it's a mantra or whether it's your breathing. Just keep focused on this object only and ignore everything else. Sometimes you feel itchy and you want to scratch, you don't do that also. Like the doctor who just said, sometimes you feel like his saliva is coming out of his mouth. Just leave it alone. Don't pay attention to it. These are all distractions to your meditation. And you will not get any result if you give attention to them. Okay? Try and see how it works for you. But I think you should concentrate more on building up mindfulness by long before you meditate. We can do this from the time we get up in the morning. As soon as you open up your eyes, start mindfulness right away. Be mindful of your body. Or you can use a mantra, mindful of a mantra. And as you continue on doing your work or whatever you have to do, only stop using the mantra if you use the mantra, only stop when you have to think something seriously, something important, something essential. But if you don't use the mantra, then you just keep focusing on your body action. Whatever your body is doing, stay with that action. Keep the mind in the present. Don't let it go to the past or the future. Then you will have mindfulness. When you meditate, then you can focus on your meditation object and not be distracted by other things. Okay?
Ajahn Ka, I have question.
Okay.
10 years ago, I start to learn how to meditate and do vipassana ค่ะ and I keep joining that 10-day course, Ajahn Goenka, I keep joining that course every year, and I feel that I get benefit from that all the time. But just recently, like this is year 10 that I joined that course, and after I joined the course, I feel like I get a lot of benefit, but in the same time, I feel sad, I feel angry, I feel like like easily angry. I feel sad with many things, and I don't know how can I deal with that.
That's because you don't continue with your practice when you come out from your retreat. You have to continue on with your practice, not just when you're doing the retreat. You have to do practice all the time, mindfulness, and also you can also use wisdom if you can. You teach your mind that you cannot force things to happen. Things happen because they happen. And our duty or our responsibility is to accept them when they happen, not to deny them or not to not to accept them. We just have to accept everything that happens because they are beyond our control. Then you won't feel bad or anything like that. We cannot choose only good things in this world. You have to tell yourself this. There are good things and bad things coming up, replacing one and the other. Sometimes good things come up and something bad things come up. But you can deal with them by just merely acknowledging them. Don't try to change them. Don't try to do anything with them. Just be barely acknowledging. Then you won't feel bad. That's the purpose of going to a retreat, to train your mind to become receptive to the truth, not reacting to the truth, not reacting to things that happen.
I feel so doubt about my progressing in Dhamma.
Well, there's no reason why you should be doubtful of your practice if you know what you're doing. So stay mindful, then you won't be doubtful. The reason you're doubtful because you're not mindful. You let your mind stray away to think of all sorts of things. But if you're mindful, you stop your mind from thinking. Then everything else will not appear because everything appears because of your thoughts, of your thinking. So you're mindful, then nothing will happen to you. Nothing bad can happen to the mind. Only when the mind is not mindful, that's when all sort of emotions will rise, will come up. So you have to stay mindful every day, all day long, from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. Then you will have a good weapon to protect your mind from all sort of misery or sadness or depression or stress, anxiety. They cannot come up if you have mindfulness. Okay? Or wisdom. Sometimes you can use wisdom if you can see things. This is the way things are. What can you do, right? Anicca or anatta. Anicca, things keep changing. Anatta, things happen without your permission. Let's put it that way. You cannot give them permission. This thing can happen and this thing cannot happen. They happen without your permission. Okay, well, you were going to say something, Akash?
Yes, Ajahn, I have one more question. I have a doubt that some teachers say that the watching the breath is a more superior form of meditation or mindfulness rather than the mantra, because the mantra is a kind of conditioned experience and the breath is a more natural experience. Do you have any?
No, both can take you into the fourth jhana. It depends on your preference, really. Watching the breath can bring the mind to the fourth jhana. Reciting a mantra can also bring you to the fourth jhana. So.
Okay, thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Okay. Everybody in the room has a chance to ask questions. Oh, Sajalka, did you just come in? Or did I? Or were you in here before? Okay, do you have anything to ask?
No, I have been here from the beginning, and thank you for asking. But I have no questions today. But I really enjoyed your addressing Upekha in today's meeting. So how the Upekha kind of can be continued in day-to-day existence, not just during meditation.
That's right. You develop from meditation, then you can carry along in your daily life if you can continue to be mindful.
Yeah, thank you.
Or you can make it permanent if you apply wisdom to protect it. Okay, let me go to Facebook first, okay, in case if anybody wants to ask. Let's wait for questions from Facebook first. Do we have any questions from Facebook?
Yes, we have 6 questions from Facebook and YouTube. First question from the Multiversal Unity. Namaste, Ajahn, may I ask a question? What makes Nibbana happy? Thank you.
That's the nature of a calm mind, a mind that is free from defilement. When the mind is free from defilement, it is calm. It's still like still water. Still water, when you compare to rough water, which is better? Still water looks better, right? So this is the nature of the mind when it becomes calm, because it has get rid of all the defilement, which causing the mind not to become calm. Then the mind becomes calm permanently without defilement. Then we call this mind Nibbana.
And 2 questions from Evelyn Ho. Dear Ajahn, my mom regularly say hurtful things to me since I was young. It affects me a lot whenever she does that. How should I deal with this? Thank you.
It hurts you because you don't want to hear it. So if you don't want to be heard, you have to tell yourself to force yourself to hear whatever she wants to say, and accept that you cannot stop her from saying what she wanted to say. Yeah.
And
If you
second
can,
question.
okay.
Second question. Recently, my sis and I had a quarrel with her, and now she wants to cut off all tie with us. What should we do? Thank you.
You don't do anything. It's your action, not your action. You continue on to have tie with her. If she wants to do anything, that's her business. But you still consider her your mother, and respect her, and do anything good for her if you can.
2 questions from Yato. Namaste, Ajahn. If a monk only attends Sotapanna, when he dies, can he leave the relics?
No. Only those who have become fully enlightened, an arahant. And he has to become an enlightened for a certain period of time before he dies, because this will give the time for the pure mind to purify the bone to become relics. If an arahant achieve arahant and then die suddenly, then there will be no time to purify the bones. So the bone will not turn into relics either. So it's not an indication that if someone dies and his bone doesn't turn into relics, doesn't preclude that he hasn't become fully enlightened. But if his bone turn into relics, then it just confirms that he is a fully enlightened person. Any more questions? Is that all?
And second question, more question, Ajahn. Second question, when we practice Atthasila or 8 precepts on Ubosatha day, we drink chocolate or coffee that contain milk like Starbucks after 12 noon. Is this okay?
Well, according to our interpretation of milk is considered to be food. We cannot take milk because it's considered in the category of food. But sugar is considered to be in medicine category. So you can put sugar in your coffee, but no milk.
Last question from Un. Hi Pante, I'm Un from Penang Island, Malaysia. Can Pante please explain why Buddha created and used many words for mind or consciousness? Example, Citta, Sanya, Vijnanam, to show the truth in nature law, to help all being eliminate my suffering. Thank you, Pante.
Because they are different. See. The mind has many abilities. See. First, the knowing ability, that's the mind. Then besides the knowing ability, it has also the feeling ability, the thinking ability, the perception ability, and the consciousness of the essential objects ability to connect to the body to receive sensual objects from the sensual organs. So they have different names for this different function or ability. Sanya, Vedana is feeling. Sanya is perception or memory. Sankhara is thinking. Vijnana is the stream of consciousness that connect to the sensual organs, to the body. So they have different functions, so they have different names. Like our body, we have different names for different parts of the body, right? We have hands, we have legs, we have hair, we have nose, we have, these are the body, so, but there are different parts of it. That's all. Okay, is that all?
Yes, that's all,ท่านอาจารย์
Okay, anybody in the room would like to ask any more questions? You're welcome. Raise your hand and unmute the microphone. Okay, Julia.
Yes, Ajahn, I have 2 questions, please.
Go ahead.
Well, Ajahn was saying not to give rise to distraction. But sometimes a Dhamma talk can also be a distraction, no?
Well, when you do Dhamma talk, you don't meditate. It's a different function, different thing. When you listen Dhamma talk, you concentrate to just listening to the Dhamma talk, not meditating at the same time. You don't want to compare meditation with listening to Dhamma talk. It's 2 different things.
Okay.
But it's considered to be a way of meditating also, but not to the full result of jhana. It's a way of helping your mind stay fixed with something. Instead of a meditation object, you use the Dhamma talk as your meditation object.
Okay. So is it true that like Sariput gained enlightenment that way and Moggallon?
Yes, when they listen, they try to understand, make themselves understand. Once they understand, then they become enlightened.
Okay, can you use it Dhamma talk too much as entertainment? Like chocolate.
Yes, but it's not harmful like chocolate.
Okay.
It has no side effect. With chocolate,
Okay.
you can become addicted. And when you
Okay.
don't have it, then you can have bad feelings arising.
Okay.
But with Dhamma talk, if you don't have a chance to listen to Dhamma talk, it will not cost you any bad feeling.
Okay. And then the second question, so sometimes my friends ask me questions, like somebody called me on the telephone last night. Somebody who moved away from Colorado to another state, and she asked a question, and my thought was like, oh, the perfect thing to do is to give a quotation from the Buddha. But then I thought, well, no, because I'm not a monk and it's not my job to quote the Buddha to my friend. That's what monks do. But then it would have been the perfect answer to give. Like monks only can teach in my
anybody can use the Buddha's teaching to pass it on to other people. It's sharing Dhamma. That's what you're doing. That's all.
Yeah, but like in retreat, you say Brahma Sahampati, you request the Dhamma,
this is to let the monk know that you want to listen to his Dhamma talk. That's all. Because we should not go telling people about the Dhamma if they're not willing to listen.
Okay.
But if
for
you
a lay
ask,
person,
yes, anybody can do the same thing. Dhamma it's only restricted for only monks. It's for everybody who can who appreciate the value of Dhamma and share or pass it on to somebody else.
Okay.
So if you find that using a quotation by the Buddha will help your friend, then go on, give it to her.
Okay.
But if she
Okay.
doesn't ask any question, then you shouldn't.
Okay.
You might bother her.
Okay. Okay. Anumodana ka.
Okay. That's all right. That's all the question you have. Okay. Anybody else? Tonight we we're already 2.5 hours into the meeting. Maybe it's time for us to end this meeting. Okay. Thank you very much for your attendance, your participation. I hope it is beneficial to you and help you advance in your practice. In the meantime, please stay safe, stay mindful, keep on practicing, and one day you'll become enlightened. Thank you and goodbye.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thanks, Henry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.